Real Steel is a masterpiece for hundreds of reasons, but for the sake of this video, I'll bring it down to 3. But disclaimer, if you want to see it before watching this video, you can watch it on streaming if you'd like. It's been alternating between Netflix and Tubi, but honestly just go check it out at the library, it costs nothing. Minimal spoilers, but I probably have to give some for context. And congrats to all the students out there who are preparing to become an artist or an animator or some other thing like that. You are pushing through like a really hard grind. A lot of people don't really understand how much effort it takes to do a single frame of animation, or even just to do a simple sketch, or even the training that comes behind it. So the fact that you're still going through it, you're still pushing through it, you have some real strength. Moving right along in no particular order. The music in this movie is amazing. I think this is the best example of a movie combining both popular songs with original themes. The lyric videos are used to establish things' mood, like Here's a Little Something For Ya for the fight against Metro, One Man Army for Noisy Boy, The Midas Touch for, well, Midas. They all fit perfectly. Most of all My Days in the opening is beyond perfect. There's people who went into the movie expecting it to be a dumb Hugh Jackman Rolo flick, only to be immediately met with a beautiful shot with Alexi Murdoch's music in the background. It serves as a perfect cinematic representation of the long, monotonous car rides, but with a hint of peace to them. And then there's the themes. Adam's themes, Max, Charlie, they're just so perfect for the characters, carrying this genuine sincerity that I don't think you can find much nowadays. And guess who composed the themes? But this section is getting too long, and I'm pressed for time, so on to... Alright, before I get on to the others, I gotta get to my man, my boy, Anthony Mackie. I mean Finn. God, they're multiplying. He's the single best fight commentator in this movie. He has so much energy. So many fights in the movie has like commentators give some generic speech. Meanwhile, Anthony Mackie's he just has so much personality, so much descriptive flair. He talks like an entertainer rather than someone who's saying what they're supposed to say for the Robo League. Which makes sense, seeing as how Crash Palace is an underworld type of location where every vulgar cuss and dangerous bot is on the table. He also serves a role later on as a friend to Charlie to give karmic punishment to an unnamed figure for the sake of spoilers, but trust me when I say the scene is great. At first, they're characters with a few obvious gimmicks to paint an easy picture for the audience. Charlie is a dude who's constantly gambles his money away and then try to get his money back through more gambling, which just increases his debt. He's cocky, egotistical, and pretty damn hateable. And Max is the son who's been abandoned for most of his life, and gets by through distractions, as well as being incredibly smart because of
video games.
But the more time we spend with the two, we more get to know them. Upon first meeting, there's this wide shot representing the space between the two. Max basically gets mad at him indirectly, saying that Charlie screwed him because he could have gone on a vacation in Italy with his extended family. Charlie tries to brush it off, saying that it's just for a little while, and then immediately tries to get rid of him, which Max indirectly opposes. The subtext means something incredibly different, but in short, it says, since I'm stuck with you, I'm going to treat you like shit for abandoning me. We also learn that Charlie is an experienced boxer from his time that can get sincere and honest when he feels like he has nothing to lose and all to gain. Although Max is angry, he's got this childlike wonder and hope mixed into him. Hope that seems to pass onto Atom. And oh god, Atom. The guy has no lines, but the soft whirring of the electronics, the shadow mode, how he seems to have a personality exemplified through them. Max thinks that he's alive in a sense, a robot with a soul. And I like how the movie keeps it ambiguous. We don't know if he really is sentient, but the movie keeps the mystique enough that we end up rooting for him as a robot with a soul. And that element is also great fodder for theories. Some film theories. Thank you, Matt Pat. Then there's the villains. The movie does a great job of creating these hateable a-holes while making sure that they're not too one-note as to be boring, but not so developed that they're basically trying to insert themselves as the main character. We got our main a-hole in Ricky. We're introduced to him by Ricky changing the terms of an established deal within a 100-pound bowl to this thing. Then, when Charlie makes it more interesting, he responds with threatening him. He also has a certain way and he speaks that is just beyond annoying. He's got this high-pitched cocking that gives us a strong urge to punch him. We can give him some leeway at first since Charlie cheats him in a deal, but where Charlie has a character arc, Ricky doesn't. He stays an a-hole, while also being a prevailing reminder in consequence of Charlie's sins. But the movie knows that with so little screen time, they can't rely on just one jerk. So they introduce Tak Mashido and Farah Lemkova. These two are at the top of the industry. Even the protagonists are fans of them at the start, but once they get more face-to-face moments, you get more of a sense of them. Tak designed Zeus, basically the big bad boxer boss, to have an adaptive system that quickly figures out the best way to beat an opponent. And since most other box have set moves and are controlled by humans, he has an innate advantage so high that he just destroys every last robot. A bit of commentary in the movie is that the entire sport of boxing is ruined when fights turn into massacres where one side always wins. But nothing is concrete. Zeus may have the best armor, tech, combat AI, everything, but the lead bots do have the potential to get there, right? That's until later on in the movie it's revealed that Lamcoma is fully willing to buy Romance as a sparring bot if they pose a threat to Zeus, offering as much as 200k. Now, this is an excellent commentary on the sport of boxing, because for a long time, boxing was controlled by the Mafia. The Mafia would rig fights, and when the public caught onto it, the respect for boxing was tarnished, leading to a slow decline. At the time, the movie was released during that decline, and honestly, the movie's explanation why boxing had revived itself was through making boxing robots. And honestly, this is a better and more sensible explanation for how boxing was revived than this. Farah Lemkova and Tak Mashido are an allegory for the Mafia, showing how the scummy, underhanded practices of boxing didn't go away, it just donned itself a new coat of paint. And this world-building drills in the themes. It's why Charlie hates fights against Zeus. It's one-sided or it's rigged, taking away the entire meaning of the sport that he used to fight in. Most people, myself included, describe Real Steel as Rocky with robots. And with good reason. But where I feel Rocky was great as a character study of his protagonist and less as an overall movie, Real Steel has the traits from Rocky that I love while still maintaining story structure, which is followed very closely. But unlike The Force Awakens where structure was all it had, it changes the structure intentionally to enhance the movie. Instead of having one big villain, it has two smaller villains that challenge the characters in different ways. It doesn't quite have a central goal of saving the world or blowing up the Death Star, so it shows Zeus at the beginning to foreshadow an endgame. There's hundreds of small details like this, and I discover new ones every time I watch. But the best part? The movie's sincere. Hugh Jackman clearly adored the role. In a few interviews, he states how much he adores the movie itself. And because of that, even though he's recognizable as an actor, I don't really see Jackman when I watch Real Steel. I see Charlie Kenton. Dakota Goyo pulled such an amazing performance at such a young age that I'm still surprised that he didn't win an award for Best Supporting Role. The writers genuinely cared about the story they were trying to tell. They wanted to make a father-son story about abandonment and finding your way again, and they did that perfectly. From the shots, the lighting, the camera, to the action, every single fine detail in this movie was given its due. There's never a scene where the writers give up because they all genuinely cared. It's a movie that's worth seeing. It's a movie about us. Go watch the dang movie now, because that's the entire point of this video. Oh, and make sure when you do, that you comment below your thoughts. And I know you've heard this before, a lot of YouTubers are like, oh, comment to hear your thoughts, start a discussion, but the YouTuber doesn't actually engage, and 9 out of 10 the comments get crazy because
some men just want to watch the world burn.
But this is not that channel. I actually care about what you comment. I think hearing people's thoughts, interpretations, all of that is interesting. If I get bigger, which, fat chance, I probably won't read every one, but I'll read a good amount. Respond, heart, stuff like that. And for obvious reasons, TBHD.